I just set a timer for an hour and I am going to paint with you all. See how much I can get done in an hour. Oh my god. I hope you enjoy my painting videos. I know they're different than all of the previous videos that I've been doing, but I say why not? When I started my channel, I had originally thought I want to be a variety channel. Like, whatever happened to variety shows, you know? Those just don't exist anymore. I just did tarot. And I think it was because I was just loving it and I was deepening my practice with tarot. It just hasn't been feeling the same, you know? I feel like I've really learned this skill. Like, I just want to show more skills. And I just do so many different things, so I really want to show people that. I feel like the flippers are wrong. Like, I feel like their flippers start to curve back sooner. They start to curve back like here. So I have to change the way that looks. I just think that anatomy in general is kind of off with this whole thing. So I've just been trying to focus on the anatomy. That's why I have this like line right here, because it's like sometimes I'd rather just draw with the paint and then I'll clean it all up later. I usually put out the primaries black and white, and then whatever I'm like working with that day, for instance, I'm working with like yellows and blues, then I would put out a couple extra of those. Literally have turtles on TV right now, so it makes it easier. The shape is actually more like this. Kind of like that. I love sea turtles so much. My friend actually works at an aquarium. He's a volunteer at an aquarium. He works with these super sad sea turtles. Like, it makes me so sad. They have a bubble in their shell and it makes it so that they can't go down, and it is like one of the saddest things I swear I've ever seen. So sad, and it's from motorboats hitting them. But yeah, I went and visited him at that place. It was so beautiful. So usually I will mix with a brush. You know, when you're technically trained, you're supposed to take like a palette knife, not like this, and then mix it. But I don't really do that. I usually take like a crap brush and use that as my mixing brush. And then I usually try to take another brush that's a little bit better and then go on. And I kind of like to do my acrylics a lot more dry than most people, I feel. I feel like one thing that's so important with painting is that you really always want like light against dark so that it stands out. I feel like that's so important. I feel like a lot of people don't get that within their paintings. And that's one way that you can tell if a painting is really high quality or not, is if there's light and dark. Today I have a peace lily and it was covered in ants. So I went to Home Depot and I went and got potting soil, and then I cleaned that all out, and it was, oh my god, it was so much. I was so freaking hot and covered in ants and dirt. But my plants are like, they're very meaningful to me. They mean certain things to me. So if my peace lily is not doing well, it means my peace is not doing well, and that means that I need to put in work to make sure that my peace is doing well. So that is why I had to go get that done immediately. Yeah, this is something I've been realizing with painting, and I feel like people can just take this advice and use it for life, but like just put it on the painting, you know? And the life advice with that one is just do it. Just do it. Just do it and try it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you tried. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is such an important lesson. I feel like his head is way too big. Yeah, they have a curve like. So with acrylic, you know, you layer, layer. That is how you do acrylic. So, you know, whatever I'm doing today, it might not look good today because I let things dry. You know, I do lots and lots and lots of layers. That's why I take months to do my paintings. Yeah, so I learned oil painting since I was a kid. You know, I was going to classes outside of school. I'm very thankful that my family put that effort into me learning. I think they saw my skill and how much I wanted to be great at it. I really do appreciate my family because I feel like they always, if I wanted to do like an extracurricular, they were able to get me in on that. And I feel like a lot of people do not have that. So I just feel extremely blessed for that. And I just think learning skills is so important. But I think that we can, you know, at any point in our life decide, okay, I'm going to learn a new skill. You know, I'm going to learn a new skill now. I kind of want to send both of his arms off. I don't make sure that the blue is the perfect blue or anything like that because I'm really just trying to paint like drawing. You know, I'm just trying to get these shapes right because once you get the shapes right, you're good. You guys paint? Like, I would love to know in the comments anything about your painting journey. Learning how to paint is like it's such a process, you know? I feel like just learning any skill, you have to do it for years and years and years, and then people will turn around and be like, oh my God, you're so talented. And it's like, I have been doing this for my entire life. Like, I remember being like a shut-in when I was a kid and just drawing. And drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing. So a lot of the times I don't feel like it's just you're talented. It's so much of it is you put in so much work. You put in so much work, money, time, everything to learn a skill. It's not just talent, you know? It's all of the above. And I mean, I think to me, talent is just your affinity to like something to the fact that you would actually take the time to learn it. You would take 15 years to become a master at something. You know what I mean? Like, that is talent. That is skill. That is what being skilled is, really. It's like what you do behind closed doors when no one is looking. That's dedication. That's skill. You know? And I'm already like liking that shape so much more, and I feel like that makes the painting kind of interesting too. Like, I feel like you really learn the rules of art or music or anything really to break them. You know? And I was told, oh no, there's no way, you should never have, you know, the thing that you're painting go off screen like that. That's not right. Like, you'd learn that with photography too. You're never supposed to crop it so that, you know, you're missing part of it. But that's all wrong to me. You know, I think that you're allowed to understand the rules of art and then break them. But I think it would even be fun to maybe at the end, like, add some extra little fin on there, a little arm on there. Yeah, and also the thing about painting is, like, paintings don't really look like they're going to, or like good, or like really, I don't know. You have to just see the vision. Do you know what I mean? They don't look good till the end. Like, until you put the, you know, highlight on the eye, this guy isn't gonna really look right until I tweak it and make sure that all of the anatomy is right. Like this, something about his head feels a little bit off to me. I know this is a bit off to me. I'm gonna figure all that out. I just kind of go from top to bottom though. But that's like a life, and that's a lot of things. Is like sometimes you just have to keep going, even though you can't see the full vision, or even though it doesn't look clearly or doesn't look right. And that is what being an artist is like getting through those, yeah, the trials and tribulations over and over and over again, and believing in yourself, you know. And I feel like it's tough. It's tough to be an artist because you have to just keep going. And same goes to being a business owner as well. You have to just keep going. I want to get this right. Here we go. That looks almost perfect. Check him out. See? Having him there will really help me. Definitely. Painting takes forever too, I'll tell you what. Especially with the way that I paint. Because it's just a struggle. And especially if I'm trying to talk to you guys and trying to get this right. I'm just, yeah, it's a struggle for sure. But I feel like I need to stop saying things are a struggle, because maybe they wouldn't be as much of a struggle if I didn't say like, this is tough. Yeah, they're almost like wings. Yeah, so I'm using raw umber. I'm using mostly all Liquitex Basic acrylics here, and then I have burnt sienna. No wonder most of the people that paint on YouTube have quiet channels, because painting takes so much focus. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people use a lot of water with their acrylic, but I do not. I do not do that. I feel like it's so much easier too to just pick up your painting and do this, but I never see people doing that online. Obviously because you guys can't see what I'm doing, but it's just so much easier. I feel like that's pretty decent. Something still feels off. A lot of the times I'll like put it upside down in my house to try to get it exactly right. They are weird looking though. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, they're kind of like, when you really look at animals and you try to paint them, you start realizing how weird everything is. But honestly, it shows how long it takes to paint, because it's like I've barely even broke the surface here. Over here. Something just feels off about this angle here. I feel like maybe this needs to come out like that. Yeah, and then that makes more sense. I wish I had a good reference. I was using a reference on my phone, but none of them are really quite right, if I'm being honest. I wonder if you guys will ever be interested in this type of content anyways. Bob Ross, you know, that was one of my icons. Bob Ross and Steve Irwin. I mean, oh my God, they were like everything to me. I feel like they brought relaxation to my spirit, like as a child. Oh man, yeah, that was just so important to me. I just appreciate them, and I feel like the world needs more of that. Very much so, the world needs more of that. Yeah, I feel like that kind of looks more right, but I don't know, maybe there's something kind of off about the angle here, but I feel like that's a little bit better. Also, I feel like his arms, if I'm looking at it now, if I'm looking at this, his arm is actually like way down here. So I think I might have to actually just redo like so much of it. Let me see. Yeah, his arm, it doesn't start here. No, it doesn't start here. I'm gonna have to redo that. Yeah, yeah. Let me just go ahead and just get some white. Some white with some yellow, and that'll be my new arm color. This is how painting goes. I'm telling you guys, when I was younger, it used to kill me to have to do stuff like this. Where I'd be like, oh my god, no, I put so much effort into this. It's like, no, you really didn't. You really didn't. This, and anyways, if it doesn't look right, then what's the point? Like, literally. Okay, so I'm looking at it now, and his arm is really more like, it starts like here actually. So that might be what's causing my whole anatomy to look kind of off. Yeah, exactly. It's actually more here. It's funny how I just did all that and then I was like, you know what? No. Yeah, it would be more like this. Yeah, it might even start even further away. They're so strange looking, yeah. So wild. It's just, I made his head so big, so I have to make sure that his flipper is also quite large. It's a good thing I have these real turtles here, because then I can see that this is just off, because his head, their wings, they start below, like here, below here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to redo everything. That's okay though. I just want it to look right. Anatomically, I want it to look right. I use AI sometimes just to like give myself a reference, because sometimes it's hard to find a reference that's similar. But then I come into the problem that AI has, you know, completely wrong anatomy. Everybody knows that. So it's just like, it's kind of tough. Yeah, it's so much lower than you'd think. So I'm gonna have to cover these up. I wish it was easier to find like anatomic, that is a hard word to say, anatomically correct animals from like every angle. I found this app where you can like, there's a man that you can like pose, you know, kind of like that wooden thing. Okay. This is painting, guys. Like, I feel like old Bobby boy, you know, doing stuff like that, that's nice because you can just hang out. I mean, there's just so much less pressure to a scene like that. But when you do a person or an animal, like there's an anatomy that has to be kind of followed. Obviously, you know, you could do your own thing, like Picasso or something, and then there wouldn't be as much pressure to get it right. But I'm trying to get it right, you know? I'm trying to get the anatomy right. And it is not always easy, but when you get it right, it feels so good. It does. Okay, this color is not even going to be close, but I'm really just trying to cover this up here. I'm going to add his shell in here, just so we know what the shape looks like. There is some blue on my brush. Oh my god, sometimes it just kills me, guys. Sometimes it's just so difficult. I wish it wasn't, but it just is. I mean, this painting literally sat up on my wall upside down for like 6 months. 6 months, seriously. And I didn't touch it. And the whole time I kept thinking, this anatomy is wrong. This anatomy is wrong. I feel like I have to let it dry more. I already am starting to think that, yeah, I think I might have made the right decision in moving that down, because it just, something looked so off to me about that. Like I said about these paintings and me, like when I was a kid, I used to be so scared to just cover something over. Like I would just not do anything in my painting. I would just sit there and not do anything because I was just so scared to paint it over. And it's like, well, you started from the beginning already, you know what I mean? So why does it matter so much? Why does it matter so much, you know? To just do it again. I gotta think. I just still feel like it needs to be lower, but I guess it completely depends on the position that you're in. Ooh, too much water. Can you tell I'm struggling? Can you tell? Because I am. I get so messy with my palette too. I feel like other artists would be just disturbed the way that I do all of my mixing, because it is not in like a very specific way. This is how I paint, but I know some people probably like figure out everything in advance, draw it all out. But honestly, I do like every painting differently, you know? This is just one way to paint. There's a million ways to paint. But I feel like what I was saying about like just throwing it on the canvas is like a reading in itself, is like about life in itself, because yeah, you just have to throw it on the canvas, and the canvas is life. And the canvas is life. And it's like, what if you spent your whole life not doing something you wish you had done? And then what if you actually end up doing it and you didn't even like it? So then you spent all that time, you know what I mean? Like you spent all that time and energy thinking about it. Or you never end up doing it, and then you really spent all that time and energy, and it's just like, it's just no way to live your life. You gotta just try it out. You gotta just try it out. I'm trying not to say that it's hard, but it's pretty freaking hard right now to get this anatomy right. This is the reality of art, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. The reality of art, a lot of the times, is frustration. Like that is real life. And getting through that. This white pencil. Okay, it's 48 minutes on the clock, and I've literally done like, well, actually, I can't say I haven't done a lot, because I've made huge changes. It's just, I haven't got anything really, really down, but it feels better to me. It feels better to me. I might need to I might need to find some really good reference photos that are at this angle and then come back to this. But at least you guys get an idea of the art. And yeah, I have lots of paintings. I definitely would love to show you guys like a start to finish painting. That would be awesome. I would love that. If you guys have any suggestions on this painting, I would love to hear that. I still feel like his neck is kind of thick, and I feel like his shell maybe needs to be like, yeah, bigger. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's better. I feel like this one could come up a little bit, potentially. Let's see. Yeah, like, what if this one was like this? You may have had everything all planned out, but like, once you actually get it onto the canvas, you have to see what it looks like on a large scale and work with that, you know? I'm just laughing because I feel like people expect so much to get done, and like they see finished products of things and they're like, oh, that was easy. And it's like, things are so hard. Like, they take so long. They take a million trials, a million covering it up, a million. Like, it's like that with every single thing I've done in my life. Like, my boyfriend, he draws something, it's like perfect the first time. Like, that is not the kind of artist that I am. But the thing is, he went to school for art and he does art for a living. Like, he is a tattoo artist. So that's the difference, you know, when you do art every single day, like, your lines are going to be right. And when you go to draw, it is probably going to be in the right place. But somebody like me, like, I don't paint for a living, you know? So it's just like, when I'm doing something, it takes trials and tribulations, and that's how you get better, you know? That is how you get better. And you have to just kind of look at the whole picture and say, does this look right? Does this look right? And until you get to that point of you say, like, does this look right? And I know me, I can always say, like, it never looks right. Like, I feel like I could always add more. I'm sorry that I didn't get too much done. It's not some like crazy transformation or something. I don't think that that's what this video was supposed to be about anyways. Just learn more about painting, about some philosophy, and just have a relaxing day with me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all so much. Just thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in painting content. I love you. Bye.